First contact. The night sky above the Atacama Desert shimmered with countless stars, a celestial tapestry unmarred by light pollution. Dr. Samantha Chen stood outside the observatory, her breath visible in the chilly air. She should have been exhausted after a 14-hour shift, but adrenaline coursed through her veins. Something was different tonight. Inside, banks of computers hummed softly, processing data from the array of radio telescopes scattered across the barren landscape. Samantha had dedicated her career to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, combining her expertise in quantum physics with the age-old question, are we alone in the universe? A shout from inside broke the stillness. Dr. Chen, you need to see this. Samantha rushed back into the control room, where her colleague, Dr. Duan Mendoza, was staring wide-eyed at a monitor. What is it, Duan? Look at this signal. It's not natural. Samantha leaned in, her heart racing as she examined the data. The pattern was unlike anything she'd ever seen, a complex, repeating sequence that defied all known astronomical phenomena. My God, she whispered, it's them. It has to be. Within hours, observatories around the world confirmed the signal. Humanity held its collective breath as governments scrambled to respond. The United Nations convened an emergency session, and world leaders addressed their nations, urging calm and unity in the face of this unprecedented event. Dr. Chen found herself thrust into the spotlight, her expertise suddenly in high demand. As she stood before a sea of reporters, cameras flashing, she took a deep breath. Ladies and gentlemen, we have received a message from an intelligent extraterrestrial civilization. While we cannot yet decipher its contents, the very fact of its existence changes everything. We are not alone. In the days that followed, Samantha barely slept. She worked tirelessly with a global team of scientists, mathematicians, and linguists to decode the alien transmission. The signal contained vast amounts of data, images, mathematical concepts, and what appeared to be a form of universal language. It's like they're giving us a primer, Samantha explained to her colleagues during a late-night video conference. They're teaching us how to communicate with them. As the world watched and waited, Samantha and her team made breakthrough after breakthrough. They discovered that the aliens, who called themselves the Zorax, used a form of quantum entanglement for faster-than-light communication. It was a concept Samantha had theorized about in her doctoral thesis, but seeing it applied on such a vast scale left her in awe. They're so far beyond us technologically, Dr. Mendoza mused one evening as they pored over the latest data. Why would they even bother contacting us? Samantha shook her head. I don't know, Duan, but I have a feeling we're about to find out. As weeks passed, the team managed to establish a rudimentary two-way communication with the Zorax. The aliens expressed a desire for peaceful contact and announced their intention to send a delegation to Earth. The news sent shockwaves through human society. Some celebrated the imminent arrival of advanced beings, while others warned of potential conquest or colonization. Samantha found herself caught in the middle of heated debates. In a tense UN Security Council meeting, she argued passionately for openness and diplomacy. This is our chance to learn, to grow, to become part of something greater than ourselves, she insisted. We can't let fear dictate our actions. Not everyone was convinced. General William Hayes, representing the United States, leaned forward with a scowl. And what if they're hostile, Dr. Chen? What if this is all a ruse to catch us off guard? Then we'll face that challenge together, Samantha replied firmly. But we can't squander this opportunity out of paranoia. The Zorax could have simply invaded if that was their intention. Instead, they're reaching out, trying to establish peaceful communication. We owe it to ourselves and future generations to reciprocate in good faith. As the debate raged on, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that humanity stood on the precipice of a new era. Whatever came next would reshape the course of human history forever. Back in her lab, Samantha and her team worked around the clock to prepare for the Zorax arrival. They developed new quantum communication devices based on the alien technology, hoping to facilitate smoother interactions. The breakthroughs came at a dizzying pace, each new discovery opening up possibilities that would have seemed like science fiction mere months ago. "We're making decades of progress in weeks," Dr. Mendoza marveled as they successfully transmitted a complex message using quantum entanglement. "Imagine what we could learn if we worked directly with the Zorax." Samantha nodded, her mind racing with the implications. This could revolutionize everything: medicine, energy production, space travel. We're standing at the dawn of a new age. As the day of first contact approached, the world held its breath. Militaries remained on high alert, while civilians alternated between excitement and terror. Samantha found herself thrust further into the spotlight, giving interviews and advising world leaders on the potential outcomes of the impending meeting. In a rare moment of quiet, she stood alone in her lab, gazing at the night sky through a window. The stars seemed different now, no longer distant and unreachable. Somewhere out there, the Zorax were approaching, carrying with them the promise of a new future for humanity. Samantha's comm device chirped, startling her from her reverie. It was a message from the UN Secretary-General. "Dr. Chen, we need you in New York immediately. The Zorax have entered the solar system." With a deep breath, Samantha gathered her things. This was it, the moment that would define not just her career, but the fate of her entire species. As she headed for the door, she paused, looking back at the lab where so many breakthroughs had occurred. "Well," she murmured to herself, a mix of excitement and trepidation in her voice, "here we go." The journey to New York was a blur of hurried flights and urgent briefings. By the time Samantha arrived at UN headquarters, the city was in a state of controlled chaos. Streets were packed with a mix of protesters, celebration, and impromptu prayer groups. The sky was filled with news helicopters and military aircraft, all eyes turned upward in anticipation. Inside the UN building, Samantha was whisked into a secure conference room. World leaders and top scientists from around the globe were gathered, their faces a mix of determination and barely concealed anxiety. The Secretary-General nodded grimly as she entered. "Dr. Chen, thank you for coming so quickly. The Zorax ships have taken up position in high Earth orbit. They're requesting to establish a direct quantum communication link with us. You're our foremost expert on this technology. We need you to oversee the connection." Samantha nodded, her training kicking in despite the surreal nature of the situation. "I understand, Mr. Secretary-General. My team and I are ready." As they worked to establish the link, tensions in the room were palpable. General Hayes paced back and forth, his hand never far from his sidearm. "I still say this is a mistake," he muttered. "We're exposing ourselves to unknown risks." Samantha didn't look up from her work, but her voice was firm. "With all due respect, General, the greatest risk would be to reject this opportunity out of fear. The Zorax have traveled unimaginable distances to reach us. The least we can do is hear them out." A hush fell over the room as the quantum link stabilized. On a large screen, a being unlike anything they had ever seen materialized. The Zorax ambassador was tall and slender, with iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors. Its eyes were large and multifaceted, and when it spoke, its words were translated into a soft, melodious voice. "Greetings, people of Earth. We come in peace and with great hope for our shared future." As the Zorax ambassador began to explain their reason for contact, Samantha felt a surge of emotion. This was it, the moment humanity had dreamed of for centuries. Whatever came next, she knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The arrival, quantum handshakes and cosmic misunderstandings. The Zorax ships hung in Earth's orbit like shimmering mirages, their hulls pulsing with colors that defied human perception. Dr. Samantha Chen stood on the deck of the newly christened ISS Unity, a space station hastily retrofitted for this historic encounter. Her heart raced as she adjusted her quantum communicator, a device that looked deceptively simple, a sleek headband with a pulsing blue crystal at its center. "Nervous, Doc?" Captain Zara Okoye, the station's commander, asked with a wry smile. Samantha let out a shaky laugh. Terrified, excited. I'm not sure there's a word for what I'm feeling right now. As if on cue, the air before them shimmered, coalescing into the towering form of Ambassador Xandar, the Zorax representative. Up close, the alien was even more breathtaking. Its skin rippled with bioluminescent patterns that seemed to convey emotions beyond human understanding. "Greetings, Dr. Chen." Xandar's melodious voice resonated directly in their minds through the quantum link. "We are honored to meet in person at last." Samantha stepped forward, fighting the urge to extend her hand for a very human handshake. Instead, she mimicked the greeting gesture they had learned, a complex series of finger movements that looked almost like sign language. "Welcome, Ambassador Xandar. On behalf of humanity, we..." Her words were cut short as a sudden burst of energy erupted from her quantum communicator, enveloping both her and Xandar in a cocoon of shimmering light. The humans on deck gasped, reaching for weapons, but the Zorax remained calm. As the light faded, Samantha blinked in astonishment. The world around her seemed different, sharper, more vibrant, and when she looked at Xandar, she could somehow sense the alien's thoughts and emotions. What just happened?" she stammered. Xandar's multifaceted eyes sparkled with what might have been amusement. "It appears our quantum fields have synchronized, Dr. Chen. This is unexpected, but not unwelcome. We now share a telepathic bond." Captain Okoi stepped forward, her hand hovering near her sidearm. "Is this some kind of trick? A way to steal our secrets?" Samantha raised a hand, still reeling from the new sensations flooding her mind. "No, Captain, I don't think so. It's more like we've established a bridge between our species. I can feel Xandar's intentions. They're genuinely here in peace." The revelation sent shockwaves through both human and Zorax societies. Some hailed it as a miracle, a way to truly understand an alien species. Others saw it as a threat, a potential avenue for manipulation or control. As days passed, more quantum handshakes occurred between humans and Zorax, each one creating a unique bond. Scientists scrambled to understand the phenomenon, while world leaders debated its implications for diplomacy and security. Samantha found herself at the center of it all, working tirelessly to bridge the gap between human and alien perspectives. The bond with Xandar gave her unprecedented insight into Zorax culture and technology, but it also came with challenges. One evening, as they worked together in the station's lab, Samantha felt a wave of sadness wash over her. It took a moment to realize the emotion wasn't her own. "Xandar, is everything all right?" The alien's skin rippled with muted colors. "I am concerned, Samantha. Our intention was to share knowledge, to help humanity join the galactic community. But I fear we may have moved too quickly. Some of your people see us as a threat." Samantha nodded, understanding all too well. She had seen the protests on Earth, heard the fearful rhetoric from certain politicians. Change is always difficult, especially on this scale, but we can't let fear dictate our actions. The potential benefits of our alliance are too great. As if to underscore her point, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Captain Okoi's voice crackled over the intercom, tight with tension. "Dr. Chen, Ambassador, we need you in the command center immediately. We've detected something big." Racing to the command center, Samantha and Xandar found the crew gathered around a holographic display. A massive object was approaching the solar system at impossible speeds. "What is that?" Samantha asked, her mind already racing with possibilities. Xandar's skin paled to an ashen gray. "It cannot be. They have found us." "Who?" Captain Okoi demanded. "What are we dealing with?" The alien's response sent a chill through the room. "The Void Hunters, a species that exists only to consume. They follow advanced civilizations, waiting for them to make contact with younger races. And then they strike," Samantha finished, her realization dawning through their shared bond. "They're here because of your arrival." Sandar's form seemed to shrink. Yes, we did not know they were so close. I am sorry, truly. We may have doomed your world by coming here. A heavy silence fell over the command center. The humans exchanged worried glances, the weight of this new threat settling on their shoulders. But Samantha felt something else through her bond with Dandar, a glimmer of hope buried beneath the guilt and fear. No, she said firmly, surprising even herself with the strength in her voice. You haven't doomed us. You've given us a fighting chance. She turned to face the assembled humans and Zorax. Think about it. If the Void Hunters had found Earth on their own, we would have been defenseless. But now we have access to advanced technology, to knowledge and capabilities beyond anything we've ever dreamed of. And more importantly, we have allies. Captain Okoye nodded slowly, a determined glint in her eye. Dr. Chen is right. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of the real fight. And humanity has never backed down from a challenge. As the gravity of the situation sank in, humans and Zorax alike began to mobilize. Emergency messages were sent to Earth, rallying the planet's defenses. The Zorax ships moved into defensive formations, their advanced sensors scanning for any sign of the approaching threat. Samantha felt a swell of pride and determination, both her own and echoed through her bond with Dandar. They had overcome their initial misunderstandings, forged connections that transcended species. Now, facing an existential threat, those bonds would be tested like never before. As she looked out at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, Samantha knew that the real challenge was just beginning. Humanity and the Zorax would have to combine their strengths, innovate in ways neither species had imagined before. The Void Hunters were coming, but Earth and its new allies would be ready. All right, Samantha said, her voice steady as she turned back to the assembled team. Let's get to work. We've got a planet to save and a galaxy to protect. As humans and Zorax united in purpose, the next chapter of their shared story was about to unfold, one that would push the boundaries of science, courage, and the very nature of cooperation itself. The Alliance, quantum fusion, when stars collide. The Earth buzzed with frenetic energy as humanity and the Zorax raced against time. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the heart of a technological revolution unlike anything in human history. The looming threat of the Void Hunters had catalyzed an unprecedented fusion of human ingenuity and Zorax wisdom. We're calling it Project Starforge, Samantha explained to a rapt audience of world leaders and top scientists. Her quantum link with Ambassador Xandar hummed in the background of her mind, a constant reminder of their symbiotic alliance. It's not just a weapon, it's a whole new paradigm of energy manipulation. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing schematics that defied conventional physics. At the center was a pulsing orb of light, reminiscent of a miniature star. By combining Zorax quantum folding techniques with human chaos theory, Samantha continued, her eyes alight with excitement. We've created a way to harness the power of quantum entanglement on a cosmic scale. Essentially, we're weaving the fabric of space-time itself into a defensive network. General Hayes, once skeptical, now leaned forward with interest. And this can stop the Void Hunters. Sandar's voice resonated through the quantum link, heard by all. It is our best hope. The Void Hunters consume reality itself. Traditional weapons are useless against them, but this could rewrite the rules of engagement. As the briefing concluded, Samantha felt a wave of both exhilaration and exhaustion. The work was grueling, pushing the boundaries of what both species thought possible. But there was no time to rest. The Void Hunters drew closer with each passing moment. In labs and shipyards around the world, humans and Zorax worked side by side. The quantum handshake phenomenon had spread, creating a network of telepathic bonds that transcended language barriers. Ideas flowed freely, sparked by the unique perspectives each species brought to the table. Samantha found herself constantly amazed by the leaps of logic her human colleagues made, connections that would never have occurred to the more structured minds of the Zorax. In turn, the aliens' deep understanding of cosmic principles allowed for implementations that seemed like magic to human eyes. One evening, as Samantha pored over data in her lab, she felt a gentle prod through her link with Xandar. The alien's presence materialized beside her, its skin shimmering with concerned hues. "You push yourself too hard, Samantha," Xandar's thoughts whispered in her mind. "Even stars must rest to avoid collapse." Samantha smiled warily. I know. It's just, there's so much at stake. If we fail." "We will not fail," Xandar interrupted, a firmness in its mental voice that surprised her. "Look." The alien gestured, and the air around them shimmered. Suddenly, they were surrounded by a cosmic tapestry, countless points of light representing every human and Zorax working on the project. Lines of energy connected them, forming a vast, pulsing network. "This is us," Xandar explained. "Every mind, every idea, every quantum link. We are no longer separate species, Samantha. We are becoming something new, something powerful." As Samantha gazed in wonder at the visualization, she felt a surge of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they had a chance. Weeks passed in a blur of breakthroughs and setbacks. The first prototype of the Starforge device was ready for testing, a massive undertaking that required precise coordination between Earth-based facilities and Zorax ships in orbit. On the day of the test, tension hung thick in the air. Samantha stood in the control room, her hand hovering over the activation switch. Xandar's presence was a comforting warmth in her mind. "All systems a go," Captain Okoi's voice crackled over the comm. "Ready when you are, Dr. Chen." Samantha took a deep breath, initiating Starforge in 3, 2, 1. She flipped the switch. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sound like reality itself tearing at the seams, a brilliant point of light burst into existence above the Earth. It expanded rapidly, tendrils of energy reaching out to touch the Zorax ships, the ISS Unity, and key points around the globe. Cheers erupted in the control room as readings poured in. It was working. The quantum network was online, creating a protective bubble around Earth and its immediate space. But their celebration was short-lived. Alarms blared, and the main view screen flickered to life. A massive, shadowy form was approaching the edge of the solar system, a shape that seemed to devour light itself. "The Void Hunters," Xandar's mental voice was tight with fear. "They're here." As the monstrous entity drew closer, the Starforge network pulsed and strained. Samantha and her team worked frantically to stabilize it, pouring every ounce of their combined knowledge into strengthening the quantum bonds. "It's not enough," someone shouted. "The field is collapsing." Samantha felt panic rising in her chest. They had come so far, worked so hard. It couldn't end like this. Then, through her link with Xandar, she felt something. A spark of an idea, born from the unique fusion of their two minds. "Wait," she said, her voice cutting through the chaos. "I know what we need to do." With trembling hands, she began to input a new series of commands. The Starforge wasn't just a shield, she realized. It was a conduit. A way to channel the combined mental energy of every linked human and Zorax. "Everyone," she called out, her voice carried through the quantum network to every mind connected to the project. "Focus your thoughts. Picture the shield holding. Believe in it with everything you have." As one, humanity and the Zorax joined their minds. The Starforge flared with renewed energy, its light growing brighter and brighter until it rivaled the sun itself. The Void Hunters struck the barrier with unimaginable force. For a heart-stopping moment, it seemed like it might shatter. But it held. The shadowy entity recoiled, its form writhing in what might have been pain or confusion. It struck again and again, but each time the shield grew stronger, fueled by the collective will of two species united in purpose. Finally, with a silent scream that echoed through the quantum link, the Void Hunters retreated, fleeing back into the depths of space from which they had come. As the threat receded, Samantha fell to her knees, exhausted but elated. She felt Xandar's presence envelop her, a mixture of pride, relief, and something deeper, a profound sense of connection that went beyond mere allies or even friends. "We did it," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "We actually did it." Around the world and in orbit, humans and Zorax alike celebrated their shared victory. But even as the immediate danger passed, Samantha knew this was just the beginning. They had unlocked something far greater than a weapon or a shield. The Starforge and the Quantum Link had shown them the true potential of their alliance, a melding of minds and cultures that could reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. As the first light of a new dawn broke over the horizon, Samantha gazed up at the stars. For the first time in her life, they didn't seem distant or unreachable. They were a promise, a challenge, and an invitation. The universe was waiting, and humanity, hand in hand with the Zorax, was ready to answer its call. The battle, quantum-entangled destinies. The victory against the Void Hunters had been exhilarating, but it was only the beginning. As Earth and the Zorax celebrated their triumph, Dr. Samantha Chen knew the real work was just starting. The Starforge had proven more powerful than anyone had imagined, and with it came responsibilities neither species had anticipated. "We're calling it the Nexus Protocol," Samantha explained to a packed auditorium of Earth's leaders and Zorax representatives. Her quantum link with Xandar hummed with shared excitement. "It's not just a defensive network anymore. We've tapped into something cosmic." Holographic displays flickered to life, showing a web of glowing threads connecting stars and galaxies. At intersections of these threads, pulsing nodes represented worlds linked by the expanding Starforge network. By fine-tuning the quantum resonance, Samantha continued, her eyes gleaming with the thrill of discovery, "We can now instantaneously connect with civilizations across the galaxy. It's like a galactic internet, but one where thoughts and experiences can be shared in real time." The audience murmured in amazement. General Hayes, now one of the project's staunchest supporters, leaned forward. "And the military applications?" Xandar's voice resonated through the quantum link. "More than that, General. This is about unity. With the Nexus Protocol, we can create a united front against threats like the Void Hunters. A galactic alliance unlike anything the cosmos has ever seen." As the implications sank in, the excitement in the room was palpable. But Samantha felt a twinge of unease through her link with Xandar. There was something the ambassador wasn't saying. Later, in the privacy of her lab, she confronted her alien friend. "Xandar, what aren't you telling us about the Nexus Protocol?" The Zorax's skin rippled with conflicting emotions. "Samantha, you must understand. The power we're dealing with, it's beyond anything even my people have encountered. There are risks." "What kind of risks?" Xandar's multifaceted eyes seemed to look through her, into the fabric of reality itself. "The Void Hunters were drawn to us because of the energy our civilizations were emitting. The Nexus Protocol, it's like a beacon. We may be inviting challenges we can't even imagine." Samantha felt a chill run down her spine. "You think we'll attract something worse than the Void Hunters?" "I think," Xandar said slowly, "that we are about to step onto a cosmic stage, and not all the players may be friendly." The ambassador's words proved prophetic. As the Nexus Protocol expanded, linking world after world, reports began to come in of strange phenomena at the edges of known space. Gravitational anomalies, inexplicable energy signatures, and whispers of ancient, slumbering powers stirring to life. Earth and the Zorax found themselves at the center of a galactic awakening. Some civilizations welcomed the connection the Nexus offered, eagerly joining the growing alliance. Others recoiled in fear or suspicion, seeing the rapid expansion as a threat to their autonomy. And then there were the Enigma. They came without warning, a fleet of ships that seemed to bend light and space around them. Their technology was beyond anything the Alliance had encountered, making even Zorax advancements look primitive in comparison. "Greetings, children of the young galaxies," their message echoed through the Nexus. a voice that seemed to speak directly into the minds of trillions. Your meddling with the cosmic order has not gone unnoticed. The time of judgment is at hand. As the Enigma fleet approached, panic spread through the Alliance. This was a threat unlike any they had faced before, a species so advanced they seemed almost godlike in comparison. In a hastily convened war room, Earth and Zorax leaders struggled to formulate a response. Samantha felt the weight of countless lives pressing down on her as she pored over data streams, searching for any weakness in the Enigma's defenses. Their ships, she muttered, more to herself than anyone else. The way they manipulate spacetime, it's similar to how the Starforge works, but on a much grander scale. Xandar's presence flickered beside her, his thoughts intertwining with hers through their link. Yes, I see it too. It's as if they're using the very fabric of the universe as a weapon. A crazy idea began to form in Samantha's mind. What if we could use that against them? Turn their own mastery of spacetime into a weakness. For the next 72 hours, Samantha and a team of human and Zorax scientists worked feverishly, pushing the Nexus protocol to its limits. They reached out through the quantum network, gathering insights and technologies from hundreds of civilizations. The result was Project Ouroboros, a daring plan to use the Enigma's own space-warping abilities to trap them in a closed time-like curve. As the Enigma fleet entered the solar system, humanity and its allies made their stand. The Starforge pulsed with energy, channeling the combined will of trillions of minds across the galaxy. Samantha stood at the control center of the ISS Unity, her hands hovering over the activation panel for Project Ouroboros. Beside her, Xandar's form shimmered with nervous energy. "You realize," the ambassador said softly, "but if this works, we'll be fundamentally altering the nature of causality in this region of space. The consequences could be unpredictable." Samantha nodded grimly. "I know. But if we do nothing, everything we've built will be destroyed. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith." As the Enigma ships closed in, their weapons charging with unimaginable power, Samantha took a deep breath and activated Project Ouroboros. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a sound like the universe itself gasping, reality twisted. The Enigma fleet found itself caught in a loop of spacetime, their own temporal manipulations turned against them. Ships collided with past and future versions of themselves, creating cascading paradoxes that threatened to tear apart the fabric of reality. Through the quantum link, Samantha could feel the strain on the Nexus as it struggled to contain the chaos. Civilizations across the galaxy poured their energy into the network, fighting to stabilize the cosmic tapestry. And then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. Where the Enigma fleet had been, there was now only empty space and a swirling vortex of temporal energy, a permanent scar on the face of the cosmos. As the dust settled and the Alliance took stock of what had happened, Samantha felt a mix of triumph and trepidation. They had won, but at what cost? The universe would never be the same. In the weeks that followed, reports came in from across the galaxy. The defeat of the Enigma had sent shockwaves through spacetime, awakening ancient powers and altering the very laws of physics in some regions. Some hailed Earth and the Zorax as saviors, the guardians of a new cosmic order. Others whispered that they had meddled with forces beyond their comprehension, unleashing chaos that could never be fully contained. As Samantha stood on the observation deck of the ISS Unity, gazing out at the stars, she felt the weight of their actions settling on her shoulders. Through her link with Xandar, she sensed a similar mix of pride and concern. "What have we done?" she whispered, half to herself and half to her alien friend. Xandar's presence enveloped her, a comforting warmth in the vastness of space. "We've taken our first true steps onto the cosmic stage, Samantha. For better or worse, the universe will never be the same, and neither will we." As they looked out at the glittering tapestry of stars, now alive with possibilities and dangers, they were only beginning to understand. Samantha knew that their greatest adventures and challenges were still to come. The battle was over, But the war for the future of the cosmos had only just begun. A new era, cosmic reboot, humanity's quantum leap. The aftermath of the Enigma conflict reshaped the universe in ways no one could have predicted. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the epicenter of a cosmic revolution, navigating a reality where the laws of physics themselves seemed to be in flux. "We're calling it the Great Recalibration," Samantha explained to a holographic assembly of representatives from across the galaxy. Her quantum link with Xandar thrummed with shared awe at the scale of what they were witnessing. The defeat of the Enigma didn't just end a threat, it fundamentally altered the fabric of spacetime. The holographic display showed a mesmerizing dance of galaxies and dimensions, some merging, others splitting apart in impossible ways. In some regions, Samantha continued, her voice filled with wonder, time is flowing backwards. In others, parallel realities are bleeding together. We're seeing the birth of new forms of matter, energy, and even life that defy our previous understanding of the universe. A being of pure light, representing a civilization from the outer rim, spoke up. "And how do you propose we navigate this chaos, Dr. Chen? Our people are terrified. Reality itself seems unstable." Samantha nodded, understanding the fear all too well. "That's where Project Genesis comes in. We believe that by fine-tuning the Nexus protocol, we can create, well, for lack of a better term, a cosmic operating system." The assembly buzzed with murmurs of disbelief and excitement. Xandar's voice resonated through the link, adding weight to Samantha's words. "Imagine a network that doesn't just connect our civilizations, but helps stabilize and shape reality itself. A collective consciousness guiding the very evolution of the universe." As the implications sank in, Samantha could feel the mix of hope and trepidation rippling through the quantum network. They were proposing something unprecedented, not just exploring the cosmos, but actively participating in its development. The next few months were a whirlwind of discovery and challenges. Samantha and her team worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of science and philosophy alike. The Nexus protocol evolved, becoming less of a tool and more of a living entity, a galactic nervous system linking countless minds and realities. One day, as Samantha was deep in meditation, interfacing directly with the Nexus, she felt a strange shift. The universe seemed to hiccup. When she opened her eyes, she found herself standing on an impossible planet, a world where the laws of physics changed from moment to moment. "Welcome to the Nexus core," a familiar voice said. Xandar stood beside her, but he looked different, more ethereal, as if he was composed of pure energy and thought. "What is this place?" Samantha asked, marveling at the ever-shifting landscape around them. Xandar's form rippled with excitement. "This, Samantha, is where all realities intersect, the heart of Project Genesis. From here, we can shape the very nature of existence." As Samantha explored the Nexus core, she began to understand the true scope of what they had created. It wasn't just a network or a tool, it was a new layer of reality, a place where the collective will of all sentient beings could actively guide the evolution of the cosmos. But with this power came great responsibility and danger. "We have to be careful," Samantha said, her mind reeling with the possibilities and pitfalls. "If we make a mistake here, we could unravel the entire universe." Xandar nodded solemnly. "That's why we need a council, representatives from every civilization, every reality, to ensure that no single perspective dominates the shaping of our shared cosmos." The formation of a cosmic council was a monumental task. Beings from across time, space, and dimensions came together, each bringing unique insights and challenges. Some were familiar, humanoid aliens, energy beings, even artificial intelligences. Others defied description, entities made of pure mathematics, hive minds that existed across multiple realities simultaneously. Samantha found herself at the center of it all, her human perspective valued for its creativity and adaptability. The quantum link she shared with Xandar had evolved, allowing her to interface with the council members in ways that transcended traditional communication. As the council debated and shaped the new cosmic order, incredible changes swept across the universe. Dead worlds sprang to life, nursed by the collective will of billions. Stars on the brink of death were rejuvenated, their energies carefully balanced to sustain life for eons to come. But not everything was utopian. Some civilizations rejected the new order, seeing it as a threat to their autonomy. Others sought to exploit the power of the Nexus for their own gain. The Council faced constant challenges, from rogue realities threatening to destabilize entire galaxies to philosophical debates about the nature of free will in a universe guided by collective consciousness. Through it all, Samantha held onto her humanity, even as her understanding of reality expanded beyond anything she had ever imagined. She became a bridge between the infinite and the intimate, reminding the Council of the importance of individual experiences and the beauty of imperfection in a universe striving for harmony. Years passed, or was it millennia? Time lost meaning in the heart of the Nexus. Samantha found herself evolving, her consciousness expanding to encompass more than she ever thought possible. Yet she never forgot her roots, the planet Earth that had started this incredible journey. One day, as she stood at the edge of a newborn galaxy, feeling the pulse of countless lives coming into existence, Samantha felt a familiar presence beside her. "Penny for your thoughts," Sandar said, his energy form shimmering with amusement at the human phrase. Samantha laughed, the sound rippling through nearby stars. "I was just thinking about where we started. That first message from your people, the fear and excitement of first contact. Did you ever imagine we'd end up here?" Sandar's form pulsed with warmth. "Never in a million lifetimes. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The universe is full of infinite possibilities. We're just beginning to explore them." As they stood together, watching over the cosmic tapestry they had helped weave, Samantha felt a profound sense of peace. They had faced unimaginable challenges, reshaped reality itself, and emerged stronger for it. The journey wasn't over, it never would be. But humanity, once a tiny speck in a vast and indifferent cosmos, had taken its place among the stars, not as conquerors or victims, but as partners in the greatest adventure of all, the continuous evolution and exploration of existence itself. Samantha smiled, her consciousness reaching out to touch the minds of countless beings across the universe. In that moment, she knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, a cosmos united, reborn, and filled with endless wonder. As the new galaxy spun into life before them, Xandar turned to Samantha, his energy form brightening with excitement. "So, Dr. Chen, are you ready for our next adventure?" Samantha's laugh echoed through the cosmos, a sound of pure joy and limitless possibility. "Always, my friend. The universe is waiting. Let's see what's out there." And with that, they stepped into the unknown, ready to write the next chapter in the grand story of existence, a tale of quantum entanglement, cosmic rebirth, and the enduring spirit of exploration that defined humanity's journey among the stars.